Debbie. We're back today with Elliot, and we're going to kind of use this video to give you a few little tips. And I want you to know we do occasionally have that complaint from people where they say the dog is better off the leash than on the leash. And really a lot of that has to do with what we call posturing, how you're holding the leash. And because the dog was trained off the leash, and they don't really, you've allowed him to pull and stuff on the leash. So what you want to do, if that dog goes to the end of the leash at all, because that was the initial lesson that we taught him, I pulled the leash and hit the nick at the same time. So you're going to have to use concerted effort every time you put the leash on. And remember, we're always hooking the leash to this electronic collar. There are people that are going to tell you not to do that, but that's how it makes it effective. And that's why it's not a surprise to the dog when I pull on the leash. So you've got to go back and regress a little bit and say to him, I don't want the leash made tight. So if he makes the leash tight, you have to be ready. This is a leather leash here, and this has got a little spring in it, so it does kind of help. You know, when he pulls against it, it's got a little spring to come back. So I'm going to give him a little run through, but that's going to be your key, is how that you hold the leash. You need to have a 6-foot leash. Don't use a shorter leash. And whatever you do, don't get one of those leashes that has a little handle down here. Once you start restraining a dog this size, you're not going to be successful. And the fact that you guys played the tug of war and stuff with him, the pulling on the leash kind of becomes an extension of the tug of war. You know, it's a battle of strength, and he's pretty strong. All right, so you've got to be very deliberate about how you hold the leash. You put your hand through here, but you need to be ready to have all this leash, you know, where you can take the slack up and let the slack go. And the one thing you never want to do is get this arm behind you. Once you get this arm behind you and you're trying to restrain the dog, you completely lost control. So you need to keep your arms out in front of you, and you need to keep the leash loose. Elliot, heel. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So you want to give him some slack to go out to the front. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Heel. Heel. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm deliberately holding the leash loosely. I've got a good grip on it because I got my arm here. Good boy. Heel. Down. But I'm deliberately keeping the leash loose. When I want him to go down, I'm lowering the leash down. Elliot, heel. When I'm going, I'm taking the slack a little bit, but I'm keeping my arms out in front of me. I'm not letting this arm get back behind me at all. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Heel. I'm giving the impression that I'm leading him with the leash instead of trying to restrain him. Heel. So if he starts to go ahead, give him all the slack. Heel. Heel. Down. What a good boy you are. And then for the turn towards, and remember, all the stuff off leash has been choreographed on the leash before. Let's take him over here in the shade. Heel. The other thing you need to practice on the leash is the turn towards. He needs to understand if this leash gets tight at all, then you're going to hit the nick. So for the turn towards, I'm going to take this hand, heel, heel. For that, this hand is going to disappear behind you, but it's going to reappear quickly. Heel. Good boy. Heel. Good I'm going to lower the leash. So he needs to understand if there's any tension on this leash, he needs to give in to the leash. Heel. Good boy you are. Down. So then we can take the leash off and everything is going to be the same. So I'm going to posture the same way with my hands. I'm going to keep my hands out in front of me. I'm not going to let my hands disappear behind me unless I'm doing that turn towards. Heel. Heel. Good. Down. Good. Heel. Down. Good. Heel. 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 Down. All right, girl. Elliot's doing great. We're going to really miss you guys when you move out to Oklahoma. I hope you'll still stay in touch. I feel certain you will. So send me a video of Elliot running out there in the oil fields of Oklahoma. All right, girl. Thanks a lot. You're a great client. We love you. See you soon. Bye.